The DAZN boxing show is back on the road in Riyadh as history will be made at Ring of Fire. The first undisputed heavyweight title fight in a generation is nearly upon us.
A tale as old as time. A legendary champion in search of another champion has found his match. Both men undefeated. Both men larger than life itself. Facing each other under the watchful eye of history. Until there can be only one.
Let's get ready to rumble at Riyadh Season!
It is time to fight.
What a week it's been here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. All to be expected, to be fair, because this is, Darren, the undisputed heavyweight title fight. This is the one we've been waiting for 25 years, and it's delivered. Again, the week's delivered. Every time we're here, we think it can get better, and it does get better.
Yeah, this has definitely felt the biggest for me. This has been huge. Every part of this has just got bigger and bigger. The tension has grown. I think we're all pretty similar. Our opinions have changed when we've seen the fighters. It's just felt special. The energy around all the venues has been bang on. Just give me the fight. Give me that first bell. Can you imagine, after what we've just experienced, the week, the build up to this, the postponement, the energy just before that first bell in the arena is going to be incredible.
It is, isn't it, Barry? I mean, again, this is, and not every undisputed fight is number one versus number two. It doesn't work out like that sometimes. But this is genuinely number one versus number two, number three, whoever it is you want to make it. But this is it, right? And then there's an argument as to who is number one and number two, which makes it even better.
Yeah, of course, and that argument's got more debatable since closer to the fight. You know, it was always Fury and Usyk was right behind him. Now, a lot of people think Usyk is rightfully the number one. But the week's been great. This fight didn't need a build-up. It's big enough on its own. It was, you know, it's the pinnacle of the sport, and the fight was going to happen. That was enough. But it's over-delivered. Yeah. It really has. Every day's been fantastic of the build-up, and we came over here looking forward to it. And you know, we've been to every one of these shows in Saudi Arabia, thinking, can they get any bigger? Can they get any better? No, it can't. It's impossible. And again, they've outdone themselves. It's been absolutely fantastic. And if I weren't excited for the fight, why wouldn't I be? I'm super pumped for it now. I just can't wait. Yeah, I remember AJ Ngannou was in Boulevard World. We're here in Boulevard City. And again, they put on a spectacle for us here as well. There's a sphere just over there to my right, which is incredible. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it's got the pictures of Usyk and Fury on. I'm like, what are they doing?
It's more HD than HD. It's the clearest graphic
It's like
I've ever seen.
16K, isn't it?
I asked for an autograph.
It is good. My only worry coming into this fight week was, look, I knew Fury was going to sell it. Fury, his team, John Fury, all the antics all week, they're going to sell it. Was Usyk's team going to be as quiet, or were they going to fight back? They've been as loud, they've been as vocal, and that kind of makes me enjoy it a bit more. Like, Usyk's not back down. He's almost put his chest up saying, I'm ready for the battle verbally, because he now speaks English all of a sudden, and physically.
And I think that antagonised John Fury a little bit. We see the altercation earlier on in the week. You know, they were very vocal. They really believe. And just speaking to the team, we see the team earlier on in the week. They're so confident that Usyk's going to win this. Not even by points, by stoppage. And that confidence has been so evident from both teams. It really is set this up beautifully.
Yeah, the favourite is Tyson Fury. He is the current lineal heavyweight champion, and it's been a fantastic career where he's won every single belt he could win. Let's remind ourselves of just what the Gypsy King has done so far.
You are now in the presence of the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
Good shot from Tyson Fury.
That's a constant bag of tricks. Oh, big right hand, unbelievable scene.
The WBC Heavyweight World Champion, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
If you'd have talked to me around 2016, 2017 and asked me what Tyson Fury would be doing in 2024, I would say he'd be on the book signing tour or he'd be glad handing people at a casino, not fighting for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. But that's a testament just to who he is, to be able to rise literally from the ashes and perhaps become the first undisputed champion we've seen in the year 2000s. It's a great thing.
You could probably count on one hand the number of people that thought Tyson Fury had a shot when he went into that fight against Vladimir Klitschko.
What do you think is the best Tyson Fury that you've ever seen?
Probably the one against Klitschko when I was 27. Everything for me is about diet. Before Klitschko fight, I lost 6 stone, 10 pound in 8 weeks. So imagine how easy it would have been if I didn't have to lose just under 7 stone.
That win against Klitschko doesn't really get mentioned enough, but when we look down the history of British boxers away from home, that certainly has to be up there with the best. After Klitschko win, where everything should have been rosy for Tyson Fury, obviously he went a bad turn.
And I think the biggest problem for Tyson Fury is that when he came back to England, he didn't get the love that he probably thought he was going to get. No big announcement, nothing. And I guess you will fall into a depression, right?
After going through what he went through with the drugs and alcohol and putting on all the weight, no one believed he'll come back.
It was very frightening to see how big he got weight-wise and the things he was doing. It was, of course you had your doubts.
I met Tyson Fury in Monaco to sign him about, 5 years ago, and he was 25, 26 stone. He was sweating, and I thought to myself, you will never get back to elite level in the heavyweight division.
Frank Warren took a leap of faith. The way he turned himself around is quite, well, just astounding.
I could see in his eyes that he wanted it, and I thought if I can get him the opportunities, I believe he could win the world title. I genuinely believe that.
I think Tyson Fury's comeback is one of the greatest comeback stories in sports history. Not just because he came back from the depths of depression, near suicide when he came back in 2016, but the idea that he could become the heavyweight champion of the world was as far-fetched as it got. But Tyson Fury believed in Tyson Fury, and he believed that even a couple of fights in, 2 low-level fights in after his first comeback, he believed he was ready for Deontay Wilder, who at that time was the boogeyman in the heavyweight division.
Everybody around him said no, but we went for it. A guy who was 6 years undefeated, heavyweight champion world, and statistically the hardest punching heavyweight, certainly in my time in boxing.
That whole fight in itself, that 12th round is a magical moment in world boxing history because he gets dropped, he's out on his feet, he's out, he's cold. And calling an act of God, he got up.
Looked like something in WWE, the Undertaker, he sits up, gets back to his feet. The referee gave him the benefit of the doubt, thank God.
And not only did he survive the round, he went on to dominate the round. I was there, he was finished. He showed he was back.
He got a draw, but it set up the rematch, and Tyson Fury well and truly showed in the rematch that he is significantly better than Deontay Wilder, as he went out there and he did exactly what he said he was going to do in walking across the ring and just putting it on Wilder.
He obliterated a man at his own game.
And the new WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury!
My ambition from lacing a pair of gloves up at a little kid was to be heavyweight champion of the world. I've just fulfilled prophecies, that's all I've ever done.
That third fight was the best heavyweight fight I've ever attended. The courage shown by both the boxers, it takes 2 fighters to make a great fight. It was a brilliant fight.
It was, for me, ironically, Fury's worst performance.
In the third fight, I think he was spending a lot of time with his daughter who was in hospital, so he didn't have the best camp, but he showed that even without the best camp, you can still go in there and take care of business.
I recognize Tyson Fury as the #1 heavyweight in the world. When Deontay came over to England and shouting, hey, fight me, I'm the best heavyweight in the world, Tyson Fury answered the call, and that was big for me.
Since that Deontay Wilder fight, I don't know what we have in Tyson Fury, because it was great to knock out Dillian Whyte, but Dillian Whyte not in his prime at that point. It was great to get a win over Derek Chisora, but Derek Chisora was well past his prime in that point. And look, let's be honest, for Tyson Fury, the Ngannou fight was the closest thing to a catastrophe that it could have been without a loss. He came out of it looking like he was washed up. He was heavy, he was slow, he got knocked down by an MMA fighter.
Tyson Fury looked so bad in the Ngannou fight that it made him wake up and say, you know, hey, I gotta get serious.
That definitely wasn't in the script. Francis is a hell of a fighter, strong, big puncher, and a lot better boxer than we all thought he would ever be.
If you're Tyson Fury, getting back to your old self, if you can, is gonna be the key to winning this fight. He has got to be the guy we saw in those fights against Deontay Wilder.
The important thing for the individual is knowing they did everything in their power to have victory. Just me and Usyk going one-on-one against each other for whoever the best man is in the world wins. That's exciting to me.
What a career. What a career. Look, when you've won every single belt, you can only say it's been perfect. Although there has been some ups and downs, right? I mean, the John McDermott fight is one of them, way back when, where maybe he lost that one. But I have to be honest, I never expected Tyson Fury to do what he's doing. I remember seeing him against John McDermott. I was like, he's a bit gangly. I don't know how much punch power he's got. I even didn't think his feet were that good. All of a sudden, it's almost like they put a Duracell battery in him, and he's become this superstar. Not just in the ring, but out the ring as well, Baz.
Yeah, well, he knows how to sell himself. And I think early in his career, he did it the wrong way. And then he realised then actually, you know, I got to tone it down and get in the right positive attitude, and he's done that. But he's been fantastic. And all these fights where he didn't look great, being knocked down, Steve Cunningham, obviously his first fight in America where he got knocked down and got up to win. But these are all learning things. And we talk about other fighters, they're good things to learn from, and for him it was. So, you know, I think he's become the full article from his mistakes. I think he's learned from his mistakes, come back a bigger, better version of himself.
You know, Baz, Darren, every time I've picked against him, he's kind of surprised me. I have to be honest, going into the Vladimir Klitschko fight, I thought absolutely no chance. There's no way this guy's going to Dusseldorf and beating the long reigning champion. And then to get off his backside and go to America and fight Deontay Wilder, it's difficult to pick against a man that every time he's been the underdog, he's delivered.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one as well. It's remarkable. But what he does is he backs up everything he says, whether you like it or you don't. He's been Marmite for a lot of people. You either love it or you hate him. But he backs it up. He's very unorthodox. Let's not get it wrong. He doesn't do what you're told. He's not your textbook fighter, but what he does very, very well, and it's took him to where he is now. It's been a remarkable career. Where he was, the depths, the darkness that he experienced to where he rebuilt. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. He can be super proud of himself, but let's not make any excuses here or, you know, hide the fact that this is his biggest fight of his career. This is the statement fight that he needs. This is the one that cements him as one of the greatest of all time.
And the reason it does it is because of the guy in the opposite corner, Oleksandr Usyk. We spoke about Tyson Fury's career. As a pro, quite similar. As an amateur, though, Usyk is clear. This is Usyk's career so far.
Oleksandr Usyk makes some noise!
That's just sublime stuff there from Usyk. Oh, the shot Usyk just leans into that left hook. Yildirim just a master technician here, aren't you?
Booming hooks from Oleksandr Usyk. The foot movement to get him into position. And that's the biggest of the lot for Oleksandr Usyk.
Amateur pedigree is huge. When you're going to talking of the likes of Oleksandr Usyk, it's massive. This guy's had, what, 250, 300 fights, and you have to understand that 210 of them are elite level fights against the best that every other country's got.
I remember a lot of my amateur fight. Olympic Games, World Champion, European Champion, local Ukrainian competition. It's a big experience. When I was first Olympic Games, it's Beijing. I lost second fight, Italian guy, Clemente Russo. Second Olympic Games, I changed my life. It's training, family, training, rest, family. Next Olympic Games, I win. I say, yes, it's great rematch. I remember when my father called me say, congratulations, son, I love you. I say, yes. It's big motivation for me when my father tells me, I love you. It was hard because it's men who tell me, son, you can. It's hard. Now too hard. I remember my father. I pray every day for God. I say, please help my father. He every time close.
The experience he has as an amateur stands him in great stead. So when he wins the world title in his 10th fight, it didn't surprise me at all. Krzysztof Glowacki is the perfect opponent for someone like Oleksandr Usyk. He's a pressure fighter, he comes forward, he walks into everything you've got. Oleksandr was always going to beat him and looked really good beating him as well. It was only a matter of time, in my opinion, until he unified all the belts.
He gets all 4 belts in the cruiserweight division, and what does he do? He goes over to the UK and challenges Tony Bellew in his backyard.
Do I think I could beat him? Absolutely. But thinking you're going to knock someone out and actually doing it are 2 different things.
I thought Tony Bellew boxed very well, but he was working very hard to win those early rounds.
Yeah, I got tired, and I got tired because he made me tired. So I give him all the credit in the world. Oleksandr Usyk, mate, is the best fighter I ever faced.
The move to heavyweight is something that's not easy. Very few cruiserweights have gone on to win world championships or dominate the heavyweight division. Oleksandr has a big size disadvantage, and he has to use his incredible skill and IQ to supplement that.
As soon as he goes to the heavyweight division, he basically picks fighters who are going to put it on him and where he can soak stuff up and let it sit on the ropes.
The game plan for Derek Chisora going into the Usyk fight was to do exactly what he did, was to press the action. It was about Derek Chisora sort of crossed up and getting into range and roughing up Usyk, and he's probably done the best of any heavyweight who's fought Usyk so far, including Anthony Joshua in those 24 rounds that he's fought with him.
I was lucky enough to commentate that night, and I was just in awe of the ring craft of the man. The footwork was exceptional. The way he skipped side to side, he was creating angles. Someone as well schooled as Anthony Joshua, an Olympic gold medalist, had no answers.
I thought Anthony Joshua would have been just too big, too strong, would have walked him down. But somehow Usyk was able to present a boxing match to Anthony Joshua that he was able to control.
AJ was absolutely exhausted at the end of that first fight, and I mean so tired he could barely walk.
And new heavyweight champion of the world, Oleksandr Usyk.
That was the fight where I thought, I don't know if I'm going to see Usyk get beat.
I must give AJ all the credit in the world. He was really good in the rematch. But once again, it's the pressure that Oleksandr Usyk puts on you.
Usyk comes alive. Look at the way he's changing level here, Usyk. This Ukrainian master, this sublime technician.
I thought Joshua would rally and win the second fight. He didn't. Every time I think somebody's going to get the best of Oleksandr Usyk, they don't. And not only do they not beat him, Usyk wins these fights clean.
Certainly there are those who felt that Usyk should have made a better job of his performance against Daniel Dubois.
Dubois hit the protector. Now, some referees will say that's good on the protector, but the general basis is the protector is out of bounds.
Did he milk it? Yes, he was hurt. I've absolutely no doubt about it, he was hurt. But it is a low blow. Letter of the law, it's below the belt line. That is a low blow.
That's obviously going to be a big part of Tyson Fury's game plan, attack Usyk's body. But ultimately, as a professional, no one's put him down with a body shot.
Usyk can pose with those belts and wonder what's next for him. Challenge potentially and Tyson Fury. Would that be too much for him? Would anything be too much for Oleksandr Usyk?
A potential victory to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world will do wonders for the country and for the future of Ukrainian boxing.
An incredible career from Oleksandr Usyk, it really is. I mean, undisputed at cruiserweight. Let's not forget the amateur stuff as well. European gold, World Championship gold, Olympic gold, and then what he's done as a heavyweight. And Baz, you spoke to him earlier in the week and you spoke about the fact that this guy does it all away from home. There are no home fights for him. He's doing it on a road, proper road warrior.
In their countries.
Yeah, in their backyard.
It's crazy the way he's done it. I mean, I've never known it that of someone to be undisputed, unify a championship by going to other people's backyards continuously and doing not just getting over the line, being very dominant in most of those fights. He's been a revelation, and his calmness, is one of his strengths. You can't get under his skin. Even in the ring, all the things you can do, nothing ruffles his feathers. He's calm approach. He knows what he's good at, and he does the same thing all the time. People think he's adapt. He doesn't adapt. He does the same thing all the time, but he does it so good that you don't think it's the same. He's so polished at what he does that even when you're in you know what he's going to do, but you're shocked how good he is at it and how you can't stop him from doing that.
Yeah, Darren, look, it is incredible, isn't it? This jump as well from cruiserweight to heavyweight, and it isn't the heavyweight era of sort of 30 years ago. The heavyweight era now is the land of the giants, which makes it even more impressive because he is sometimes 2-3 stone undersized in this division, but his skills are so good, it bridges the gap.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen clips there of why I say this is Tyson Fury's toughest test to date. He's a master. He's a genius. He really is. He's so good. And, if he was to beat Tyson Fury, you couldn't really argue again. Well, you could argue, but you couldn't really disagree. You couldn't completely dismiss the fact that people could call him one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. Undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. That's remarkable. With the size, the land of the giants, like you say, those disadvantages. There's weight classes in boxing for a reason. But in this division, the marquee division of boxing, you can weigh 30, 40 pounds heavier than your opponent. You can have a 6 to 10 inch reach this advantage, height advantage. If he beats him, it's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. That's why this fight is so intriguing.
I love when you get these two together because they always start the GOAT conversation, and it might happen as well after the fight. Look, so many big fights coming your way on the zone, not just the one we've got coming up, the undisputed heavyweight title fight, but so much more in the coming few weeks and months.
Fight fans, welcome back. Boxing is buzzing and the best are ready to bump heads. Showcasing over 150 fights a year, DAZN is the only place to watch these warriors worldwide every weekend. Size matters as two big men create one huge occasion. An undisputed king will emerge on May 18th when Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk finally trade heavyweight leather. If you come for the king, you better not miss. A 5 versus 5 battle for bragging rights. Frank and Eddie send forth their stables to settle old scores. Few would settle the score with Sabriel Matias. June 15th, undefeated Lehman Perro marches forward to take on boxing's bona fide beast. June 29th, Phoenix will rise for two men with their eyes on the prize as Bam Rodriguez and Juan Francisco Estrada show that size actually doesn't matter at all. Explosive contests, multiple champions, just one place to catch every punch.
The undisputed heavyweight crown hasn't been contested since 1999. And on that occasion, it was Lennox Lewis who defeated Evander Holyfield. And earlier this week, Kate Abdo called up with the last man to unify the division.
It is so good to be here with the last undisputed king of the heavyweight division, Lennox Lewis. Good to see you. I guess, listen, it's been 25 years, right, since we've had a fight for undisputed in the heavyweight division. Boxing does well when the big guys do well. How important is this fight?
I think it's really important. You know, there's a lot of different factors involved in this fight. You've got a guy that's, you know, a cruiserweight champion, and he's never lost. His country's at war right now. He's got people on the front line wishing him luck, so he's got an entire country behind him. Then you got Tyson Fury, you know, he hasn't lost either, and he's determined to be undisputed. So it's a big clash. It reminds me of me and Holyfield. Holyfield came up from cruiserweight to try and beat me, and it didn't happen. So we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen in this fight.
Fans of boxing, I think we all look back at those glory days of the heavyweight division so fondly, right? Is this reminiscent of that for you?
Oh, absolutely.
Takes you back?
Absolutely. This is historic, momentous, and I think everybody's gonna feel good about this fight. I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm excited about the fight. So let's see what happens.
Is it 50-50? Do you have a pick?
Well, I would say 55-50.
Okay.
That's what.
55-45.
55-45 because of the fact of, you know, you got Tyson Fury. This is his weight class, and he's got somebody coming up trying to beat him in his weight class.
Okay, fair enough. All right, good to see you. Thank you. We'll see you again on the Friday.
All right.
See you in a bit.
All right, here's a reminder of what's coming your way on Saturday. There are two prelim fights, which sees Isaac Lowe take on Hasbulla Ahmadi, and Daniel Lapin takes on Portugal's Octavia Pudavita. The main card begins with David Nyika against Michael Seitz. Sergey Kovalev returns to the ring. He takes on Robin Safar. Mark Chamberlain goes head-to-head with Joshua Wahab. The exciting heavyweight prospect Moses Italma takes on Leisha Mezenchev. And as a final eliminator for the WBC heavyweight title, that's between Frank Sanchez and Agit Kabayel. Joe Cordina battles Anthony Kakache for the IBF and IBO super featherweight belts. The vacant IBF cruiserweight strap is up for grabs when Jaya Pataya goes in against Marius Bradis. Then it's the big one, a first undisputed heavyweight showdown in a generation sees Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk face off for all the marbles. I always say this, guys, that when you've got such a good main event, you sometimes can sort of lose, not interest in the undercard, but you almost forget them a little bit. And I feel like we should show the undercard some love. So let's talk about Joe Cordina versus Anthony Kakache, unification fight in the super featherweight division. You know Joe so well, trained by your former trainer, Tony Sims. Just how good a fight is this going to be?
Yeah, well, look, I would label this as a banana skin. This is a potential banana skin. You got someone like...
For Joe.
For Joe,
yeah.
Sorry, the champion, Anthony Kakache. He's a bit of a nightmare. He punches harder than his record suggests. We've heard Cole Frampton talk about that. His footwork's really, really good. He kind of drags you into his kind of fight, and all the pressure's on Joe. People are expecting Joe to look good, so that's already pressure on the champion. He believes in himself. He's a no-nonsense guy. Look, he is 35 now. He's only had, I think, 7 fights in 7 years. He's not been active. Will that help him? Will it go against him? He won the IBO title last time out, so confidence is high. It's an intriguing battle. One I feel that Joe should overcome, should win, but you never know. Like I say, I think this is the typical example of a banana skin.
There's a few fighters in this card, Barry, that this is almost last chance saloon for them. It could be for Kakache. It certainly is for Marius Bradis. He takes on Jaya Pataya. Obviously a rematch of a fight a couple of years ago. The vacant IBF cruiserweight title on the line as well. Just how difficult is this going to be for Bradis?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more difficult than it was the first time they met. You know, that was a step up for Jaya Pataya. He didn't know how good he was. He looked good, but not great in his career. But he ticked every box. The tough, the fight with the broken jaw, the movement. People just say he's a destroyer. He's clever. He boxes really well. And it was a great fight. But timing's everything, and I just think this stage of the career now with Bradis, I would think it's a real ask for him to get that energy. Knowing you've got a hard fight ahead, at this stage of your life and your career, can he go to the well again, which he has so often, tremendously well. I tend to think that Opataya will be so ferocious that he might, and I can't believe I'm saying this for Marius Bradis, he might get the stoppage, Jaya Pataya.
Statement.
That's huge.
Statement if he does, right? Statement. A guy that we certainly know is going to go for the stoppage is Moses Italma. That's all he does. That's all he knows how to do. He gets upset when he goes the distance, and I don't think he wants to go the distance on Saturday. How does Moses look in his fight, do you think?
Very good. Destructive. I think he was asking for some rounds. I'm not sure.
Two.
The way he goes
Only 2
about
rounds,
his
that was it.
business, the way he goes about his business is frightening. With such ease, you know. Someone who's at the top of their game makes what they do, their sport, their discipline, their job look easy. He makes boxing look easy. I know opposition's going to get tougher, but I've seen it in the past with very good fighters, very good sportsmen who, like I say, just breeze these early stages of their career. He's doing that. I really believe in time to come, he will be the future of this division. He's still got filling out to do. He's still potentially got a bit of man strength to come. But as far as talent and ability is concerned, I mean, there isn't many better.
Yeah, I could pick out so many other fighters on the undercard because it really is stacked. One fighter I just want to quickly get a word from, Barry, is Sergey Kovalev. And it's been funny because he's standing in the same hotel as us and he's just walking around by himself.
Still scary, though.
Still very scary. I don't approach him. I let him walk past me. I don't even say hello. But, I mean, 10 years ago, I mean, this guy would have been the biggest name on this card, right? His achievements are incredible. And now he's campaigning at cruiserweight. 41, I'm not quite sure what's left. I want to see the old Crusher. I don't know if he still exists, but he's going to entertain for as long as he can. He
is, yeah. You know, I was at when he won the world title in Cardiff, of course, when he came over to the UK, and everyone thought he's a big puncher, but who has he fought? And so you tend to think, you know, the longevity he's had, and you know, and let's not forget, he gave Andre Ward a run for his money in that first fight, a real run for his money. But he is long in the tooth. He is at a new weight, so that'll help him. What people don't talk about is power. His jab is fantastic. Yeah. He can win a fight on his jab. So if he has the energy still, and he has good technique, and he always has that power, you know, he can still be a force. But you've got to have that zest, and I'm not sure whether he'll still have that.
All right, back to the main event. It's the big one, isn't it? Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk. I'm going to defer to you guys, 2 former world champions, for predictions.
See you later.
Don't do what I do. Don't fence it. You know, that's what I've been doing all week. Go on. How do you think this plays out, Darren?
I've said this from the beginning. I have, at times, gone Usyk, but I just feel a good big un should always beat a good little un. I am not sleeping on the Francis Ngannou fight. I feel he just wasn't there that night, not taking nothing away from Francis, but I just feel he's going to use these advantages that he has on the night. 2 extremely very good fighters, very confident fighters, but I just feel that size is really going to take its part in this contest.
Okay, so you're going Tyson Fury. Points or stoppage?
Points.
Baz?
I've been steadfast from day one. But I've almost waned, but I've stuck to my guns, and I picked Tyson Fury. And it's not just the size; it's the adaptability. If he's at his best, which he has to be, he can change round by round. So we've seen him move, we've seen him box, we've seen him push people back, and what Usyk does so well is he pressurizes you. Different to as a cruiserweight, he walked you down. As a heavyweight, he's feinting and he's moving around that semicircle around the body. Fury will be able to spin with him, and I think that's where Usyk might find it a bit more difficult and not have so much success. He makes you tired, and the halfway stage, he wins the second half of the fight and wins the contest. I think Fury will be able to keep turning him as well and maybe tire him out, and I think it end up being a bit of a messy fight at the end, which makes it more exciting for us. But I still think that Fury just sneaks over the line, and
Ade? Prediction?
No, not doing it again. I'm not having a message.
No, you stuck to your guns earlier in the round.
No, we're not doing it anymore. Got myself in as much trouble as I can this week. Look, are you not sold? 2 former world champions, they're selling it perfectly, which means it's intriguing. It really is. I thought this fight wouldn't happen. We've been building up to it for the best part of the year. It now happens. Finally, after 25 years, we will find out who is numero uno in the heavyweight division. You see the QR code on the screen. Scan it. Be a part of it. Don't miss out on what is going to be history. Big history as well. We'll see you guys ringside. I'll see you on the stage. The whole team is here. Make sure you're here as well.
Live on DAZN Worldwide, May 18th. The fight of the century. Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Tyson Fury looks to reign as king of the division. But Oleksandr Usyk is undefeated and coming for the crown. For the first time in over 20 years, all the belts are on the line. Ring of Fire, live on DAZN Worldwide, May 18th. Buy now at DAZN.com.